Guys, this is Mr. Bond. I wanted to put together a brief video talking about how to use the standards-based tracker. I talked about it a little bit with my classes. I know that Ms. Luchin talked about it with hers as well, but I wanted to make sure you know where to put the numbers if you do choose to use the spreadsheet to track how you do throughout the course of the year. So first of all, when you open up this document, you're going to need to go to File and make a copy so that you can make your own editable version of this spreadsheet. And you guys took one assessment so far as of today. Today's October 21st. And that first assessment that you took, you guys got an overall score of 1 to 4, and that assessment was just on local limits. So whatever the overall number was that you guys got for local limits, you're going to put that in this box right here under attempt 1, because that was your first attempt of the term on an assessment involving local limits. So I'm just going to say that I totally messed up my notation and I didn't do well and I got a 1. So kind of a sad face right there. Not a very good start to the year. I essentially have a 25% as an assessment grade, okay? But let's look at how the spreadsheet works and how standards-based grading actually kind of helps you if you learn from your mistakes. So you guys have 2 more assessments this quarter, and they are each on standards 1 through 3. So the next time you guys have an assessment, you're going to get 1 question on local limits, 1 question on global limits, and 1 question on continuity. You will receive a 1 through 4 score for each of those standards. So let's say that I look over my notes from my local limits quiz that I took, and I get my 1 question on local limits, and I do a lot better with it. I still make some mistakes, maybe some algebraic mistakes, and I end up with a 3. So my overall grade went from a 25% to a 58%. And the reason for that is because this 3 is heavily weighted compared to the 1. We most heavily weight the most recent attempt within each standard, because the point of this is to show that you are learning from your mistakes and you're making progress throughout the course of the year. So this 3 counts more. That's how we're getting an average score of 2.33 now. In a traditional grading system where everything is equally weighted, the 1 and the 3 would be the same and you would end up with a 2. So on that same quiz where you improve on local limits, you're assessed for the first time on global limits. And let's say that global limits, they go pretty well, but maybe you make some mistake and you end up with a 3. And continuity is a little rough because maybe you didn't watch that asynchronous lesson when you were supposed to, and you saved it to the last minute, and you got it. So now if you look at your grades, you have a separate grade for each of the 3 standards. You have a 2.33 repeating for local limits, a 3 for global limits, and a 2 for continuity. Your overall grade is still a 58. The reason it's still a 58 is because in order to calculate your overall grade, when you have multiple standards, we find the median of all of these average numbers. And the median is the middle number when you sort them from least to greatest. So the least number is a 2, the middle number is a 2.3 repeating, and the highest number is a 3. So the median of those is the 2.3 repeating. So then one more time this quarter, you get an assessment on standards 1, 2, and 3. And again, you look over what you did the first time around and you are assessed again with very similar questions. You know what to expect. So on local limits, you finally get it. You get a 4. Perfect. On global limits, you improve as well. And on continuity, you're not quite perfect, but you do improve and you end up with a 3. So now if you look at your average scores and we find the median of these 3 numbers, the median is the 3.44. The 3.44 divided by 4 is going to give me an 86%. So we took 3 assessments total. And remember, in my fictional example here, my first assessment, I got a 1 out of 4, which is like a 25%. Right? All of you have that one number right now, whatever that number is. Mine's a 1. So even though I started with a 25%, my overall assessment grade is up to an 86%. And this doesn't even include homework, right? Homework is still 10% of the grade. This assessment grade is 90% of your grade. So the idea of standards-based grading is that it's not about where you start, it's where you finish. And it's about making progress with each assessment, one after the other. The most recent attempt is the one that counts the very most. So as long as you guys are continuing to show what you know and you don't abandon standards as you progress through the year, then you should be rewarded for it in terms of your grades. I hope this was helpful, and I hope that you guys use this spreadsheet over the course of the year. Thank you.